Sorry.
You ain't got a nickname till Dragline here gives you one. You had nothing, just like when you was coming at me that time. Sometimes nothing can be a real cool hand. Cool Hand Luke, that's your nickname, Cool Hand Luke. Well, it's just me and the bums in Union Square Park these days with the great COVID-19 virus pandemic lockdown. The civilians are all too paranoid to come there, afraid of the novel coronavirus contagion. The scene has become hostile, left to their own devices. Derelicts have become surly, ill-tempered, even violent. The bum fights have proliferated to a twice-daily event, at least. Two adversarial camps have emerged, young black homeless youths, nomads drifting in and out of the park on the winds of necessity. The other, the hardcore, older, mostly white, loose group of crackheads, drunks, methadone addicts, and the ubiquitous tribe of the crusty kids, heavily tattooed, bodily pierced, and wear long braids of white boy dreadlocks. The two warring camps face off on opposite sides of the great oak semicircle in the middle of the park, eyeballing each other, hissing threats, and routinely squaring off with each other, spoiling for a fight. When Tarzan, the 6'6" crackhead, one-time bodybuilder with green eyes, the flowing mane of Fabio, and a toothless mouth, ruled the hobo jungle of the Union Square, bum fights were held to a bare minimum. As king of the homeless encampment, he arbitrated all domestic disputes. His word was law, the final court of appeal. But he has gone now, fled to greener pastures on the West Coast, perhaps the shores of Huntington Beach. And so long-simmering resentments have begun to boil over. I hobble inside the park at 15th Street, propel myself past the great oak tree semicircle with the two tribes facing each other off, watching their furious ferret eyes give me the once-over from either side. Suddenly, I hear a feminine voice hailing me. Hey there, masked man. I'm wearing my obligatory state-sanctioned face covering, a black Harley-Davidson motorcycle's logo bandana across my mouth and nose, supposedly to prevent the transmission of the COVID-19 virus. I realize she is calling out to me. It's Mama, the Hispanic transsexual queen of Union Square Park. I have a new nickname, Masked Man, bestowed upon me by the vagabond matriarch, the ruler of Union Square, like Dragline played by George Kennedy, bestowed upon Paul Newman in Cool Hand Luke. Gabba, 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 now you're one of us. Gabba, 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 now you're one of us. Cuckoo the Pinhead initiates the beautiful trapeze artist into the circle of circus freaks before she marries the midget in Todd Browning's 1934 film Freaks. Gabba, 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 the chant echoed in the Ramones song Cretin Hop that becomes their theme. Gabba, 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 Big Mike has become one of them. The freak show of Union Square Park I'm officially accepted because I now have a name. Masked Man. Sitting on a park bench beneath the ornamental Japanese cherry tree in Union Square, checking out all the hotties hanging out at the great oak tree semicircle. Among the derelicts, the homeless, the crackheads, heroin addicts, pillheads, methadone users, potheads, psychos, acid freaks, alkies, beggars, and panhandlers nodding off into a drug and alcohol-fused haze on a sunny late spring afternoon. Crusty Kid Princess has returned from her nomadic nationwide pilgrimage to doze off into an opioid fog, hooded eyes half closed, toothless mouth half open, braided, waist-length, dirty blonde white girl dreadlocks drag in the dust as she slumps forward from where she sprawls across the park bench. Bare, bony, splayed legs poke forth from the same short pair of filthy black hot pants she never changes. Limbs seductively flung wide asunder in a brazen display of public invitation, her tiny, fine facial features freckled from the unforgiving naked sun. Missing molars accentuate her pale, vampire-striking cheekbones. Mama, the tranny queen of the crackheads, tans her bronze face and slowly, alluringly, rolls up the hem of her too tight, pink polyester blouse stretched across her muscular torso, exposing the bottom of her tiny tween girl tits, her pointy, erect nipples, obscenely stretching skyward from beneath her taut top's conforming fabric whenever she catches my eye. The Madonna of Union Square Park totters on boomstick legs, Down the paths toward the great oak tree, crackhead Skinny, her 6-month pregnant belly protruding 3 feet in front of her, with James, her man, the proud father-to-be, standing staunchly by her side. A fellow crackhead catches me checking out the hotties. Forget it, man! Forget it, man! There's nothing there for you, bro. There's nothing there for you. Teen West African delivery riders show off their respective newfangled electric bikes to each other on the path of Union Square Park, each bragging about just how fast and responsive their own personal set of wheels is. Plutocrat sits legs sprawled wide open in flavored man spread on a park bench nearby. Foster Grant's executive sweet white hair, blue linen jacket and white khakis, white canvas Abercrombie and Fitch slip-ons without socks, next to his bleach blonde arm candy, who was probably really hot 10 years ago when she was still in her 30s. Hey, 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 $50! I got $50 here for whichever you guys got the fastest bike. Race each other around the park. Winner gets $50, $50! His bleach blonde arm candy is delighted, shrieks with joy. West Africans are reluctant, tentative at first, don't seem to believe the plutocrat is serious. But the yuppie fishes a $50 bill from his alligator skin wallet, boldly brandishing it in their faces. Then they finally, slowly come around and agree. Hey, if this white guy is willing to put up $50 for the competition, why not? Okay, you guys all set? 1, 2, 3, go! The West Africans pop wheelies and head down the path at full speed. Bleach blonde arm candy squeals like a little tween girl at a Taylor Swift concert, and plutocrat flashes one bright, white, smug, self-satisfied smile. He is the very definition of white privilege. Sitting virtually the same park bench in Union Square, where I last saw him 5 years earlier, still 6'6" or taller, same blonde Jufro, receding now and grown a little grayer now, but it's Rocket Man himself, in the flesh, a veteran of Surf Reality Open Mic, a venue now shuttered nearly 2 decades. Rocket Man, the performance artist who set fire to his own dick by sticking lighted matches up his urethra, his pee hole, and setting it ablaze. Yeah, I've been in India for a few years, then Miami, Florida, then Texas, and now I'm back here in New York for a minute. I left India just before they stopped the flights out, just when this whole COVID-19 thing started, back in March. My sister vacated her apartment, ran off to the suburbs. She's pregnant. I'm here for only 2 weeks, staying at her place, helping people to meditate. Well, I gotta take this call. I'll be seeing you sometime. Blessings. Namaste.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jim Slade.
as loud as you fucking want in this room. And I need that. No one's gonna come through the door, I promise you. I pay for 3 hours of freedom and decibels. No one's gonna come in. Not only that, there is no one in the studio except us. So we're lucky to have 353 Studios because they really, I've been here over 10 years and we've had naked people, naked minds. They don't care as long as I pay the rent. So please welcome the amazing Joey Slade.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. It's really nice to be here. And I have the microphone.
Yes.
Awesome.
Your weapon
It's
of
really
choice.
wonderful. It's wonderful to see Big Fucking Mike again.
Yeah.
I was telling him that when you introduced him, I was like, who is using his name? And I was like, it's him. So I guess you can use your name. Big Mike is like the Al Goldstein of the art stars.
He was a patient of mine at the VA.
Was he really?
Al Goldstein?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Insane.
That's
Yeah.
really
He
cool.
was in the psych ward.
I'm trying to become less edgy. You know, I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm trying to be a little more compassionate. I'm trying to develop compassion. One thing that I've been working on is trying to become compassionate for people that would normally really upset me, right? To look into the eyes of the thing that really bugs you. And man, I love being filmed, so don't worry about me. You know, it's like I have no problem. Record me, film me, follow me home, fuck me, and then
I'm not that generous.
and then leave.
I'm not generous.
If you don't
I'm not
mind.
that generous.
But you know, because I need my space. But yeah, I'm trying to become like more compassionate. And I was thinking, like, what is the nastiest thing I could develop compassion for? And I was thinking ISIS, right? Remember those videos
Yeah.
from a few years ago? Right? That made me feel so angry and just angry. And I was like, how could you develop compassion? And then I thought, well, look at those shitty knives they had. I started feeling really bad for them, you know? Like, there's kids in the projects have better knives than that, you know? They're all like on national TV, they're all like sawing away and, you know, it's not, you know, I was like, hope you guys do better. It would be funny because we have this thing about capitalist Americans who are very kind of soggy, if you don't mind me saying so, and selfish, and they're the power brokers and they have the power, but they don't really have the real power. Like, why are we trying to fight the difficulty in the world when there are lots of tough people that could do that, like drug cartels? Like, maybe send the drug cartels over the Middle East and let them maybe duke it out a little bit. I was just thinking, like, trying to figure it out. You get ISIS all like amped up on cocaine, that would be funny. And then, you know, you get like the, at least they'd have like machetes and good knives, and everybody'd start to feel better about themselves. And I think that's the key. If we feel better about ourselves, then we're not so dangerous. So I think people that feel badly about themselves are dangerous. Like wounded animals are dangerous, right? But animals that actually like themselves are not so dangerous, like dogs. I love dogs because dogs can be dangerous for sure. But there are dogs that just love themselves no matter how ugly they are. I don't know if you know any. Do you know any ugly dogs that still love themselves? That still think that you should love them. They think they're beautiful. I had a friend that had a dog named Bella. Bella. She named it Bella. And it was the ugliest animal I had ever seen. I mean, it was like a walking larva tumor. It was horrendous. It was fat. She'd had so many babies and she had all kind of covered in nipples down her front. She slobbered, she was a bulldog, and she slobbered, and my friend bought her a rhinestone dog collar, right? And Bella would just come up and go up to you like, I'm so beautiful, and roll over and lay at your feet. This slobbering, horrible mess of an animal, and you couldn't help but love her, because she loved herself. You know, and she'd crawl on you and you'd be like, oh, stop. And then be slobbery and messy, but she would just be like, and she just loved herself, you know? And I was like, man, I aspire to that. I aspire to be like somebody that looks in the mirror and wouldn't mind jerking myself off. You know, that actually I'm somebody that kind of likes me, you know? And I'm thinking that could potentially be the key to everything. Like, if you really loved yourself, I think the world would open up for you. Like, we could keep trying to get a little better, make a little more money, get a little trimmer, fight upstream, fight upstream, fight upstream, work our way up the food chain, get a little better, be a little better, start wearing orange facial coloring, and, you know, act, you know, really powerful by holding other people down, and get bigger and stronger and still never love ourselves. And it's so much fucking work. Whereas we could get everything we want if we just could love ourselves. Just like, if I could just love me, then I'd have all the things I wanted, you know? Like all the people I chased to try to get into bed to prove that I was wanted. But what if I wanted me, you know? What if that's all there was? It's really interesting because COVID has put things a lot in perspective. You know, for me, I used to go down the street and always covet, right? I would look at something and I would want it. Or I would look at something and I would think, I'm not good enough for that. Or I would look at something else and go, I'm so much better than that. Always putting myself in this position, you know? I always thought New Yorkers in particular have this unique ability to be completely irritated with people walking too slow in front of us and totally paranoid about people walking too quickly behind us. You know? It's like, leave me alone. But now we have the room, we have the space. I think people halfway down the block, I would start giving them the stink eye because don't look at me, don't come too close. I kind of love that. Like having all this room, you know? But it's funny, no matter how tough we are, no matter how big we are, no matter how strong we are, a little virus has brought us to our knees. That's fucked up, you know? Remember, see something, say something? Remember that? If you see something, say something. Don't let them get you. You remember all that? You can't see this. You can't even see it. You get nothing to say about it. It's like, it's just wiping out our economy, our culture, our world. New York is a freaking ghost town. You know what I mean? Tumbleweeds. Even tumbleweeds don't want to be here. You know, it's just getting like kind of strange, all because this little teeny virus brought us to our knees. It's so funny. Like, who invented that? Who created the whole idea that you get born into a world that you're going to die in without ever knowing how that's going to happen? And that believing the story that if you get a little more, if you get a little better, if you make more money, if you get a little bigger and higher on the food chain, that you'll be looking down and lording on others, and yet something could just go in your rose and wipe you out. Just like that. What fucking kind of deal is that? Who made that deal? Did we sign up for that somewhere out in the ether before we were born? Go, oh yeah, I'll do that. That's a good one. The best I could hope for is incontinence and senility. Otherwise, it's just fucking death, you know? And I'm thinking, it must be like God and Satan that were playing poker one day, you know? And I'm thinking that Satan probably has like, it's like the super and had the basement, and which is kind of where it came down through history about the hell thing, you know? It's just he didn't have air conditioning. And, you know, and the two of them were playing poker, right? And, you know, Satan's all like, where's the kid? Ah, he's upstairs. Getting ready to save people. And they're playing poker a little bit. And what are the chips? Humanity. You know? And it's a little bit like, oh, why don't we do this? Why don't we make men and women completely different, completely opposite, and make it to where they have to communicate with one another to procreate? And, you know, Satan loves that. He's like laughing, he's laughing, he's laughing. You know, he loves that. And God's like going, and you know what? How about this? I got one up for you. How about they could die at any time? Like a little virus could just come in and wipe them and their family and everything they've ever worked for out. Isn't that kind of beautiful? It's like perfect. Where is this son anyway? Ah, he's upstairs. I think he's masturbating. He's a compulsive masturbator, my son. I was thinking God created the world and he created his son, and his son was probably the excellent and perfect masturbator. I mean, if you think about it, the holes in the palms, I mean, the idea of that is really kind of amazing. If I had holes in my palms, I'd never get out of bed. I would just like love that. Now, it sounds sacrilegious, but it's not for me because I don't believe. You see, if I believed, it would be terrible because I'd burn in flames, but I don't really believe. I kind of have turned my power of eternity back over to myself, so to speak. I believe in my own higher power, that I can actually access my own higher power, and I don't need to be told by some imaginary system from 3,000 years ago how I should behave or what I should believe or who I should be. I turn it over to my own higher power. My own higher power is fucking wasted. It's like, be whatever you want to be. It's leave me the fuck alone. And let's go back to bed. I hate it. I love you. I'm going to leave you all now because I never, ever know how to end the set here nowadays because things are so small and disparate and we're all so broken open. And I really feel like a sort of softness and kindness really needs to Morby here. So I'm going to do, and you probably even remember this. This is such an old routine. Moses used to do this in the nightclub. And I'm going to actually do this because it's an aspiration, and I love to end with this. Because you evoked my heroes, and some of my heroes, and for some of your heroes, Viviana and I have a kind of common bond over dark comics, who are edgy and difficult and threw things out, and people who are overly, what would you call them? What do you call people that are overly a little bit tight, maybe, you know, people that squeak when they fuck. It's like a little nervous
They
kind
scream when they
of
fuck.
people, right? So, you know, we're talking about the opposite. We're talking about people that rattle the cage a little bit, shook things up a little bit. These people really inspired me. Lenny Bruce, Bill Hicks, Sam Kennison. I always forget people. You always throw them in.
Richard Pryor.
Richard, of course. Richard Pryor, the greatest
Mae West.
comedian, Mae West. You know, people who just didn't give a damn about what you thought because they had something to say. And I look at all of them and I make a promise to myself and to all of you right now that someday I'm going to be just like all of them. Dead. I'm so tired living my life. Wake up in the morning trying to get my name in lights. I'm ready to claim my 15 minutes of fame. I'm gonna turn that downward spiral back up in flames. I wanna be a dead comic. I wanna end up face up lying in a pool of vomit. I wanna be, thank God you're laughing, a dead rock star, baby, yeah. I wanna end up suffocating in a groupie's clam jar. Well, I'd die for you, ba-ba-ba-ba, if you want me to, ba-ba-ba-ba. Well, I'm not gonna dead, do-do-do-do, when I'm finally dead, ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. I wanna be a dead president. I wanna leave everybody guessing where the pieces of my head went. This is for y'all, a dead poet. I wanna leave the kids upstairs with the gas range going. But I'll die for you. If you want me to. Sylvia, she's in there. And I'll knock them dead when I'm finally dead. Thanks, y'all. A little love and light, a little beauty.
Is edge defined. Please welcome Chris ICONICIDE. Chris, it's your turn, baby.
Yay.
Get up here and take this microphone and do whatever you're gonna do.
I'm not sure if I need a mic.
Right.
This mic's right there. But Viviana's actually been after me for the past 9 months to come out and do something. Seemed the time is never right. She's gonna do the park thing, but well, I'm essential. But some of you might know me for something or other, but whatever it is you know me for, today I'm not doing it. Today I'm going to read a couple of true stories. And the real story that I want to do, as it is the truth, I figure I gotta come at it sideways. So I'm going to start off with a couple of funny true stories. They're all true. They all happened to me. The first building my family ever lived in, on the northern edge of Bushwick, was entirely rent-controlled and owned by a sweet little old lady who died before I was born. It and a couple more in the area were bought up by a Yugoslavian piece of shit. No, not all Yugoslavians are pieces of shit, but this one irrefutably was. named John Holmes. This abhorrent lump had a mission, and that was to drive the completely racially and culturally mixed lower, middle, and working class tenants of the building out so he could jack up the rents in our absence. One by one, 5 other families packed up and left. The Leparis across the hall, the Koreans on the top floor. I never learned their names, but their son was my first friend. And all the rest, black, Irish, all gone, but for us. I guess my dear dead dad was stubborn, but he wouldn't let it go. And anyway, our home was our prison, where I could feel his presence, even as he was on the way home from work, 7 blocks away. This was where I learned to make bullets when I was 5 years old, and where my sister was beaten with a bullwhip. John Holmes employed the classic slumlord strategy of letting the entire building run to ruin. As far back as I can remember, there were roaches in the cornflakes, rodents living under the stove. When a pipe burst in the bathroom ceiling, it was 6 months before someone was found to fix it. Probably because dear dad didn't want his mafia buddies to see how he made his family live. So instead, he fashioned a huge funnel out of a shower curtain from the ceiling to the tub. And we went to the bathroom using an umbrella. And when, in one of his innumerable rages, he slammed the apartment door so hard it flew off the hinges, there it lay on the floor against the kitchen wall for 6 months. No, for a month and a half, sorry about that. When Bushwick burned during the blackout of '77, and the neighborhood went insane, it was just another night for us. No power, no escape. My mom even had regular candles she'd bring out every time we lost electricity. So in the summer of '84, when we'd finally moved across the street, without a moving van, carrying everything, including the stove, from one apartment to the other, the head monster, that's my so-called father, the head monster decided we'd leave John Holmes a parting gift. My idiot brother was seen as too weak for the task, but it number 1, as my sister would call him, had brought 2 sledgehammers home from his job as a longshoreman. Mob ties meant his crippled left arm bought him a cushy desk job, a cushy no-effort desk job in Bayonne, falsifying shipping manifests. And he handed one over to me, telling me flat out to destroy everything. Cradling in his left hand and swinging with his right, he demolished the bathroom tub with a fury that I'd only ever seen when he was beating one of us. And me? I got to do part of the toilet and all of the bathroom sink, smashing it to pieces with a sledgehammer. I was 14. You know what? That's one of my happiest childhood memories.
Oh.
That is funny story number 1. Funny story number 2. When I was living in the projects over in East New York after losing my place down in Flatbush, where my skull was caved in by a black man for the color of my skin 2 nights before a Rock Against Racism show, I flatlined and spent a month in the coma. Fractures start here, they go all the way down here, like 18 inches long. Brass knuckles, 2 shots. Left for dead, stayed conscious for 2 hours, flatlined back in Bushwick. I had no idea I was staying there illegally until I got served with a 24-hour eviction notice and had to crash with my sister at a welfare motel up in Jamaica, where I got booted out from 4 days. I always used to do my laundry in the basement laundry room in the project, of course, at around 1 a.m. Sure, I'd had some kid point what he said was a gun at me, it was in the pocket of his hoodie, and demand the money I didn't have, so I smirked at him and pushed right past him, pushed his shoulder out of the way. Cutting from the Euclid Avenue stop on the A through an underground parking garage on my way home after work. But I've never been interested in knowing any of my neighbors, ever since my family moved from one side of the street to the other in '84, and magically, we're no longer welcome to hang out with Roberta, Charlie, Mikey, Crazy Sue, and the rest. So one night, I'm sitting on top of one of the washing machines, also red, reading a book and half dozing to the vibration. The entire room is painted somewhere between mud and blood red. When a couple of women from the building also start watching a Lower 6. I heave my finished wash from the washer to the dryer when one woman nudges the other one and says, naturally as if I'm not right there, he puts all his clothes in one dryer for 1 hour. And laughs. What? Too poor? That's funny story number 2. Okay, funny story number 3, and then I'll get to the real story. My favorite 4th of July memory was from the morning of July 5th, or maybe 9 or 10. And the block full of full-blooded Italians across the street had, the night before, put on a typically wondrous, apocalyptic display, complete with corner-to-core mats of fireworks. By the way, a mat is a dozen, or 1,728 fireworks from one corner of the block to the other. Tanks, helicopters, Roman cannons, bottle rockets, and M80s and blockbusters set off in trash cans and mailboxes. As I was from the poor, racially mixed side of the street, mine was simply to watch, as I had neither the money nor the visibility to participate. But the morning of any July 5th meant waking up early, swiping my mom's cigarette lighter, and stepping outside into the crisp morning air to root through the husks, an inch or so deep from curb to curb, corner to corner, and perhaps unearth a stray UXB, that's unexploded bomb. Back then, my MO was to light whatever it was, watch the fuse for a few seconds, and then fling it away to explode as close to my body as possible. I like to feel the shockwave. Well, that morning, a huge smile spread across my face because I had just unearthed a lady finger. Red, half the size of a regular firecracker, and much more powerful. So I lit it normally, set for the explosion that I was certain would make this morning worthwhile. What I had not counted on, however, was its quick fuse. The lady finger blew up before I was able to completely let go of it. And it blew off, I don't know if you can see the discoloration, it blew off the tip of my left thumb, leaving the impression of a ragged, bloody, blackened cigar. Oh, I thought, as I shrugged, ripped the charred flesh away with my teeth, flashed a brief grin, and went inside for a band-aid. Happy birthday, America. By the way, when I was in the laundry room of the projects, this was the book that I was reading. A Murder to Make You Grow Up, Little Girl by Lawrence Oriel. I suggest reading that. This is the last piece. This is the piece I actually came here to read, but I figured since it was the truth, it would alienate some people. So I figured I had to come by it sideways, a couple of funny stories. This one is a true story I wrote over 20 years ago. This is the first time it's been in front of an audience anywhere. True story happened to me. It's called Late Night, Fight White. written around 1996 or something. For the past 2 years, the MTA has been screwing with the L train, usually on late nights and weekends, but with no prior warning. Service will be altered or terminated. One night, the train will stop running at Broadway Junction in East New York, Brooklyn. The next night, it'll stop running at Lorimer Street in Greenpoint, and I'll have to take a shuttle bus the rest of the way home. The next night, it'll terminate at Merlin Wyckoff Avenues in Bushwick. The next, there'll be nothing at all running over the East River from Manhattan to Brooklyn, and I'll have to take an alternate route. So it'll take me 2.5 hours to get home instead of the usual 40 to 45 minutes. It was Friday night on the L train, and there go the lights.
Holy cow. That is so weird. Those are the headlights that went out. Sorry about that.
No problem.
And, oh my God.
Yeah, well, service delays and all that. What do you expect?
It's the second it is. That's very second.
There's Friday night on the L train, on which ridership late nights has been dwindling to hipsters and Puerto Ricans. A group of the latter was clustered around me. 2 in particular, directly across the car from me, engaged in an animated discussion, carried out in English for the benefit of the rest of us. Maybe they were a bit drunk, or maybe they were the type to refer to themselves as New Yorican, or call themselves Latin, even though they'd be completely lost at a Latin Mass. They were friends, or at least they knew each other. One was growing increasingly bellicose, and the second seemed to be talking him down by badgering him. "You best not be messing, son." I wasn't really listening. Homie A, the loud one, started bragging how he had hollow point bullets in his 9mm, and he'd bust a cap in the ass of homie B. B shot back that he didn't have the balls to do it in front of all these people. A replied, "You think these white motherfuckers got your back? They don't give a shit about you. They live in a project. Motherfuckers live in houses." Houses. Yeah. This is when I felt them staring at me, trying to get me to return their gaze, like I look rich or something. Or they just thought it would be fun to beat me to a pulp, 3 or 4 on 1. By the way, I was ganged up on by 7 of my mother's neighbors and beaten down in a vestibule for trying to enter the building to visit my own mom. Because I'm not the right, ethnicity. I'm not the kind of people who took over my neighborhood and drove the multicultural and multiracial population out. Anyway. As is, okay, I'll blow all these motherfuckers away right now. As is my wont, I completely ignore them. Nothing compares to that kind of racist idiocy. This went on way longer than it should have, and my guess that cramming into a shuttle bus together would not bode well for anyone involved held true. It seems they had found a more suitable target, a Russian gentleman in his late 30s or early 40s. Unlike me, this fellow returned their stare. Okay, now if you understand the Puerto Rican element in my area, you realize he had already committed 3 major infractions. 1, he was white. 2, he didn't leave. 3, he made eye contact. By the time we had all piled into the shuttle bus together, they decided he was fair game, and if A, the brawn to the other's brains, he was dead meat. Were I not forced further forward and jammed into a seat, maybe 5 feet away, they very well could have chosen me. The rest I heard, but I could not turn my head completely to see. Packed into the overcrowded bus with no available breathing room, they had no choice. But to jostle him around while continuing their anti-white tirade. I could be wrong on one point. Maybe the bus was the first place they had seen him. Still, all he had done to provoke them was be white. And Russian born and bred, he did not understand why their anger was being directed at him. Bread lines, street gangs, and hard labor do not qualify one as white oppressor. Or so he thought. He looked at them, bemused, as if thinking, this cannot be happening. A saw this and smelled blood. What the fuck, what? When he didn't reply, A hauled off and punched him in the face. This is on a crowded shuttle bus. Okay, one more time. If you're white and you're attacked, it's your own damn fault. Because all white people are rich, evil scum. Any resistance, anything other than bleeding and going away, is punishable by anything up to and including death. So, since the target did not go away, and he did not stop being white, the more bellicose of the two decked him again and again and again. The white oppressor stupidly did not understand what he was being beaten for, or why B kept screaming at him. Oh, but everybody else on the bus understood. That is why nobody told the bus driver, and no one intervened. All they did was make room for fists to be pulled back and swung, and for the oppressor to half slump to the floor, defending himself, but not fighting back. Whitey couldn't even follow the script by spouting the racial slurs everyone knows we're all versed in. Instead, he kept saying nonsensically that he wasn't rich, but was an immigrant himself. No. Impossible! And so the beating went on and on. And then, horror of horrors, evil Whitey started fighting back. So not only did the assault escalate, but the non-white hero involved in the beating kept screaming sagely that Whitey was fucking stupid for bringing this upon himself. Is that it? Whitey replied, still unable to comprehend the fact that he was evil because he was white and must be destroyed. Finish it! Kill me! He didn't even ask the other 100 people on the bus why they were letting it happen. The villain of the piece did not develop the sense these fine men were doing their best to beat into him. Finally, the enforcer of the two, convinced by his fellow do-gooder that someone might just call the police, hopped off at the next stop. All told, the assault had gone on for 20 minutes. 20 minutes. The orator of the two stayed behind to insult Whitey and to attempt to teach him a lesson. Of course, this consisted of screaming at Whitey that it was all his fault. Why the fuck you do this to your family? He didn't finish it. He should have killed me. You crazy motherfucker! You just got beat up for nothing! The villain of the piece wasn't even aware how badly he had been hurt. Because when Hero B told him, man, you're turning blue, he went quiet, and after a moment said, really? And the bus drove on. True story. True story.
Give me a second here. You rattled me.
That's the world I live in. Welcome to it.
Yeah. and I'm not easily rattled.
Go to hell, I live there. I sit on the curb and eat my lunch.
All right.
Chocolate water.
Okay, you can film me if you want. Chris, you
Okey-doke.
can film me if you want.
Hey folks, Frederic Todd Smith is a poet, playwright, singer, and he got Parkinson's disease and he's in a nursing home. So what I do is I call him up, I put him on the phone, and it's like he's here. Okay. Let me call him up. He's been coming here since 2007. There you go. Hi, Fred. You are on at Stark Reality. Can I introduce you?
Sure.
All right. Frederic Todd is a singer, playwright, poet, all kinds. He's a big fan of LL Cool J and so many other facets that he will. I don't know what he's going to do because he's multi-talented. You're ready, Fred? Here you go.
I'm ready. This is a song from the play Strasbourg Boys. It's called Go Back Home. Lying on the lawn, I'm thinking, staring at the stars. I wonder, soon I've lost my way. I'm lonely when I'm gonna go back home. Walking through the world, things happen right before your eyes. Things happen soon enough, you're lost. I'm thinking when I'm gonna go back home. Oh me, oh my, I pray so. Oh me, oh my, I pray so. And maybe someday I'll get lucky, someone's gonna say, alright, so take the train and go back home, hop a train and go back home. Oh me, oh my, I pray so. Oh me, oh my, I pray so. That maybe someday I'll get lucky, someone's gonna say, alright, son, take the train and go back home, hop a freight and go back home, hop a freight and go back home. Thank you. This next one is a poem called The Unknown Apostle. If I was one of Black Jesus' apostles, I wouldn't want to be Peter, the angry-faced leader. I would prefer someone calmer, like Barack Obama. I hope I'm not Peter, an angry-faced leader. One guy down the hall said I thought I was the Pope. Who do I think I am, the Pope? Guess what? I don't think I am the Pope. I think I'm a poet, and this is the poem. Amen. Thank you. This next song is from the musical Barnum. The cut of my life are softer than a breeze. The silver gray of elder down, the dapple green of trees, the amber of a wheat field, the hazel of the sea, the crystal of a raindrop are all I ever need. colors of my life will shine a quiet light to bring you home. This next poem is called The Ballad of Trayvon Martin. He wouldn't live to see 20, Trayvon Martin. He wouldn't live to see 20, gunned down, unarmed. I was over 50. He wouldn't live to see 20. There was a bus going somewhere else. I ran after it, but Jesus was at the bus's door, reaching for me, and I was running. Can I run anymore? Thank you. This next poem is called The Saxophone Song. I walk down the street in New York, and there I see a black man with a saxophone. But he isn't playing the saxophone. He is surrounded by 7 cops. A black lady cop tells him that he can't play a saxophone. He has no license. Do you have a license? No, you can't play your saxophone. You have no license. And I looked at the black man and the 7 cops, and I asked myself, what song would the black man have played? Thank you. This song is from The Beside Adventure, which was a movie from the early 70s. It's called The Morning After. There's got to be a morning after, if we can hold on through the night. We have a chance to find the sunshine. Let's keep on looking for the light. Oh, can't you see the morning after? If we can hold on through the storm, we have a chance to find the sunlight. Let's find a place that's safe and warm. It's not too late, we should be giving. Only with love can we climb. It's not too late, not while we're living. Let's put our hands out in time. There's got to be a morning after, if we can make it to the shore. I know we'll be there by tomorrow, and we'll escape the darkness. We won't be searching anymore. There's to be a morning after. There's got to be a morning after. Thank you.
Thank you
What's
so
that?
much. Thank you very much. I'll let you know the next show, okay?
All right, thank you. Have a good
Thank
weekend,
you.
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you to Steve Jobs. Without him, there'd be no iPhone, there'd be no Fred forming. Art travels. Yes. And now, I want you to welcome one of the most incredible musicians. He's a teacher for the Board of Ed, or as I like to call him, Board of the Dead. Board of Education. Board of Education. I know a few teachers, the Board of Education drives them crazy. They can't teach what they want to teach. They drive them crazy. Musician, writer, and spiritually promiscuous, as he calls himself. Please welcome Ken Thompson. Woo!
express ourselves. And given everything that's going on now, it's like even more important than ever.
Thank you.
So, I want to do a song. I wrote recently, I haven't written a song in a long time. So when it came out, I said, okay, it's a good sign. It's still got it. I took my heart down to the river to throw it like a dead flower out to sea. Seagulls cry, memories wanna sing down by the river of what could never be. I believe I lost, spent so much time running. I believe I lost, spent so much time running after nothing. Night will fall down by the river. I wanna howl at the sun setting over the sea. River curl flows down by the river. Let it roll on out to sea. I believe I lost, spent so much time running. I believed I lost, spent so much time running after nothing. After nothing, after nothing. Down by the river, setting a path of light over the sea. You can see in the dark down by the river. Once you throw that dead flower out to sea, I lost. Spent so much time running. I believe I lost. Spent so much time running after nothing. But now I see. Now I see. I see. These few poems. Comfort zone. From inside my coffin, I hear the banter of the graveyard night shift crew about available overtime The ends of their cigarettes glow in the night like warning red lights. Don't invade our inner circle where mortality is a spectral skeleton doing its last dance. Will the mourners place my favorite things at my gravesite and say my name? Place flowers at a blank tombstone and say he did nothing? Say fear killed him, strangled him, beat him to a pulp and left him for dead on the street? Turned over the ashes of everything he never did, every person he never loved, into dark earth, landfill, or compost for something singular to grow? I shift in the cushioned oblong box that is meant for embalmed bodies with rigor mortis. I am not dead, don't want to die a slow death, as the deep hole in the ground lies waiting. I freeze those I allow to dig my grave in place and open the lid of this casket. I engrave on my tombstone, he did not let his comfort zone become his coffin. He granted no one permission or the right to end his life prematurely. He would die a natural death with a procession of what he did and who he loved, dancing like they do down a street in New Orleans with jubilant trumpets, drums, and clarinets. He would celebrate his last breath with no fear, commanding the respect even of those who were indifferent to or hated him. He would be a lesson in survival, in how to live, and how to prosper. He would bow to no one but the Lord. I did this one last week, but I have to do it again. Tonight, Manhattan towers are shrouded in clouds. Citizens of the metropolis engage and are disengaged at the same time. The masks we can and cannot see are falling, falling. Veils have been lifted and are being lifted. Death may be around us, in us, imminent, and my spirit wants to leave and then find a home in this body. In the night I walk, constantly digging inside myself for the truth of who I am becoming. How do you make yourself manifest to yourself and for others to see? How do you finally release the you that is dying? There are no shamans on call, so you must do the work yourself. Tibetan bowls are ringing at the same time with death knells. Funeral bells are tolling for the me that was. I fathom clinging to him, but must release him like a demonic entity in the clouded night of the city. You can walk, seek, find, release, and shine, shine, shine.
Woo.
That's the last piece. One day, the floor may suddenly drop out from under our feet, or the ceiling may fall in, or we will be in handcuffs or a straitjacket in a military state in a free fall, in a silent morning with no bird song. And where will we be then when we are the last species to die? No more armchair philosophy and pundits and speculation about what our demise will look like or could be. And the Lord will have to decide if he, she wants to start all over. The important thing is, what will you do now?
So I've never done anything like this, so please bear with me and don't be too harsh. I'm new to this country. I am from Ireland originally.
Ireland.
Yeah. So this is a poem I've written kind of about my experiences here, about how I don't feel I fit in anywhere, maybe. Looking at what's going on in my own home, land, what's going on here, and it's just a little thing I did. So please bear with my accent. And if there's any references you don't understand, you can come up to me afterwards and I'll explain them. There'll be a lot, they're very Irish. So, okay. Do I measure in distance? 3,000 miles an ocean divides us. Since I stepped on the soil that I sprung from, it's been an age of virus and vitriol, protesting for haircuts or justice or an end to a system. I am a stranger here. Learning what all this means, no justice, no peace, I can't breathe. I am a stranger here with so much to see. At times I don't know my own homeland with cries that the Irish aren't racist. Reminders that we too were slaves of a foreign regime. Yet our sisters and brothers beg to differ, suffer the hateful comments and oppressive silences, a light that is fueled by gas, claiming enlightenment but really showing our entitlement. To be born in a land revered, in a skin admired, with hair that stokes fires and songs that breathe flames. Charming and funny, with songs to be sung all at once. I wished I was in Carrickfergus, but I'm never going back there, and I couldn't anyway. That I stood beside your western shore and I saw summer sunsets, and I still wanted more. And my mind is going back to the west coast of Clare, or maybe it's all in your head. What song do I sing newly arrived in this city that never sleeps? Yet I can't seem to wake up. To a world that either showboats in arrogance or cowers in fear, the motherland, mother nature, or north nurture, she never looked so beautiful, so far away to see. In company, I embrace her with love and respect. I speak of her glories and honor her defeats. I conveniently leave out her faults because I can't see them for the rain. The foggy dew that mists over her lands, granting life and love and the oft-heard phrase, "'tis a fine soft day." Her heroes are many and often disputed. There's the Keanes, Robbie, Roy, or John B., or maybe Peg and Biggie Early, and Connolly and Collins and O'Donnell and Markovitz and Yates and Joyce and Imelda and more, and Grania Whale, the pirate queen, who many adored, and her tower in Athol, her sons, her Achilles, Elizabeth, her rival, and the ocean, her home. Phil Lynott, who told us the stories of long ago, and the generation who came home to vote and who, ignoring her thorns, grabbed the black rose into the 21st century with a resounding yes, repealing and revealing a nation of notions, notions that we can dream big for somewhere so small. She is everything at once, our teacher and child. Did I abandon her? Or maybe she has given me wings to see and to survive and to thrive and to come home to visit and shower with love her hills and her streams and her cities so fair. With a lady, a rebel, a tribeman and titan, a raggle-taggle group whose company we cherish and praise, and raise our glasses up in honour of our very parts and broken hearts and to the people of Ireland. Where 1798, 1845, 1916 and 1990 are equally remembered for very different things. The dark of our past still haunts us like the Hellfire Club, Leth and Loftus, a generation forced to wrestle the reins from those we had trusted and taught us all never again. We rebelled and we fought in silent ignoring the bells that once called us to his home, but we have been burnt too often by that hearth. Words that have meaning that we understand deep in our marrow. Tune, repeal, Mokanila, Saipan, Aron Levine, and that there was a dance in Billy Brennan's barn. So we stand on a precipice, awaiting what's next. And we wait with bated breath as we wonder where we can go from here. Can we ever go home? Or is home gone once you've had your wake and you've taken the soup? A broth that had promised us better, but left many starving on the streets they had built, a stew of promised prosperity, but just led to inevitable poverty. Those who stay fear the same as those who left. A changed country, where children need a room and safe space, while their parents study the classifieds, drafting a letter after hours on daft, looking for a home to be under, a roof for a home to be under, instead of living in hotels, destined to wander and searching for some place that they can call their own, at least for 2 years, while the rent is controlled. She isn't flawless, our Roisin, with her civil unrest. She is broken and grazed like the children she raised, knowing her faults but not loving her less. but embracing her closely, or keeping an eye when the world is too big and the sea is too wide. Yeah. Oh, that's it? Okay. I can sing a song if you want. Yes. Yeah? Yes. Okay, I'll sing an Irish song just to know you all. Can you use the mic? It's over there. I can't remember it.
You got 4 minutes.
Okay, this is an Irish language song, so you can decide what you think it's about afterwards.
It's in Gaelic?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Tras na don pedal sheer Slan leis an oignis is slan leis an gian Gale mo crí agus gale an gian Gal beg fill a go herring Honig me mo hinter de here I again Or agus arrogance never some slay Right leis an sli an that rock Gackley, smeedred om det du ham of win Per agus tras na danta do sheer Slan leis an oignis is slan leis an gian Gale mo crí agus gale an gian Gal beg fill a go herring.
That's it.
She has hosted many open mics. She has been at Stock Reality since 2007. She is a high priestess of poetry. Please welcome the amazing Marilyn Thomas King.
Thank you. Where are you, youngin? Welcome to Stock Reality. You are beautiful, and I like that song. Hello, everybody. Charlie, you know you make me laugh all the time. How was your mic? How was it?
Was the,
Last Saturday, right?
Sunday.
didn't
Sunday.
happen, he canceled
It
it,
didn't
and I think he's gonna cancel it again. It's these elderly gentlemen, it's outdoors, no air conditioning, he's afraid to come and
You're
visit.
KAYSHLA.
Huh?
Is your name, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah,
I'm KAYSHLA.
KAYSHLA. Okay.
I need to stop watching the news, because
Yeah.
I really do. And sometimes Steve Whitler. So I have a couple of things, but I have a confession to make. And I'm going to tell you my truths. I steal pens. Yes. I bag them. If you tell me to use them and I like them, I'm taking your pen. I'm being real. I know it's wrong. Y'all can keep the big pens. Y'all can keep Dollar Tree pens. If it is an ink pen, sister girl right here is gonna bag you. I'm just being honest. Whew, I got that off my chest. I was watching Steve Wilco, and this is dedicated, he inspired me with this young couple was on there, and the girl was saying, oh, you're my baby daddy, I love you. He said, yo, this was a booty call, motherfucker. Don't get it twisted. You slammed me, I must admit, you flipped me, rolled me over like a blunt. Puff, puff, pass, pass, booty calls, that's what we do. When it's about that kitchen feeling shit, you rock my world, I rocked yours, but like an interview, no call back from me. Don't call back to me. We good. Booty call saying, hit it, slam it, bang bang, get dressed and out. understand what booty calls do? Yo, where's my clothes? That was cute. Bye, boo. I'm out. This one I was a little tight. I forgot where this one of Orange Juice senators that's down with him, and that white broad who's a mayor or governor, and they're talking about not letting us women, if we choose our body to have an abortion. And he said, excuse me, not racist, but that white motherfucker said, "You supposed to have the baby." I said, what the fuck is that? Okay, let me wrap my head around exactly how could it be consensual. When you took my pussy, beat my ass, placed fear in my stove, total sodomized me, and that's consent to you? Massa, you must have been down back in your days. I named them the Rape Squad crew. Are you serious, old ass dude? And in your state, you sit and disrespect women who have been abused. You just insulted us, including your own mother that gave birth to your dumb ass. You got me all the way fucked up. Now, your old ass is gonna dictate, pass a bill, justify that abortions is a crime. Rape is okay, it's consensual. No means yes. And you don't go to jail? Right, old dude, sit your dumb ass down. Next, to that old broad, I believe she's the governor or mayor or a senator. She's a politician with such conviction in her voice on TV, truly believing her bullshit speech. Keep in mind, she lived her life, gave birth to many children she wanted, married who she wanted, telling women what to do with their body, never met anyone outside of her perfect world. She's a dictator through and through. What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Whew. You got me all the way fucked up again. Seriously, I'm done. And now consensual rape is the new norm? Tears flood my eyes. With fear in my soul and my heart aches to the women in this world, to the culture you come from, to the races you come from, and the language you all speak. You are survivors through and through. For we're struggling and holding it down, the memories of what happened to you inside. I sometimes do because I am a survivor. I was sexually abused when I was a child, got raped twice, 6 months apart by two black dudes. One worked at 220 Church, Human Resources Administration, and he is the director. I hope his ass is dead. And the other one was a street dude in Harlem. And I did not tell. And I believed it was my fault. Okay, got you with your interpretation and values in your life. And maybe to you, rape is a sex game, role playing. You know, dressing like a hoochie. In his time, they call them whores. You like to do, or perhaps straight up and down, as that's what you're all about. But rape is rape. There is no consensuality in that damn old fool. Shut the fuck up. Yo, you know they rape old people too. I don't know if any of y'all heard of this bar called Paris Blues in Harlem.
Heard of it.
You heard of it? Well, the man that owned it, his name was Samuel Hardgrass Jr., AKA, we all called him Sam. He died, and this is for him. Reminiscing of the first time I stepped through your doors 6 years ago. Reminiscences of the past when Harlem was jumping and you, sir, left your birth grounds, Demopolis, Alabama, traveled to Harlem in 1968, and your vision was born. Dapper, handsome, businessman, and here it still stands where your dream began, and your legacy will live on. Tears shed my heart. I still remember the last time I was in your presence, March 2020. So excited, for you said to Heather, Robert, Ron, and myself that we were welcome to bring Monica Hand's Open Expression, Open Mic to you, Paris Blues, as long as we wanted, for you loved all artists to perform at your spot from now on. Happiness filled our hearts and we found our new home with you. But our Father God, who dwells in heaven, had other plans for you, sir, in loving memories of you, Sam. Do y'all notice that time just... So, I think it was last week, I wrote this. It's called Tick Tock. Time is suddenly moving fast. Woke up at 5 a.m. and now I look up at the clock, tick tock, and at exactly 18 minutes afternoon begins. So, let me begin the countdown. Tick tock, 15 minutes to go. Tick tock, 14 minutes to go. Tick tock, 13 minutes to go. Tick tock, 12 minutes to go. Tick tock, 11 minutes to go. Tick tock, 10 minutes to go. Tick tock, 9 minutes to go. Tick tock, 8 minutes to go. Tick tock, 7 minutes to go. Tick tock, 6 minutes to go. Tick tock, 5 minutes to go. Tick tock, 4 minutes to go. Tick tock, 3 minutes to go. Tick tock, 2 minutes to go. Tick tock, 1 minute to go. Good afternoon.
Wow. The result of offering a no censorship open mic is the beauty, the authenticity that shines from each writer and performer. Oh, wow. It's without you, there is no open mic. Without you, if this room was empty, I'd be on the train going home to Queens, alone. But we're the only open mic except for Michael Graves, we're the only open mic that is live, not zoomed. We zoom each other, we bang each other, we inspire each other. I don't see the reason not to have a real live open mic. We're masked, we're distanced, fuck everything else, we got the microphone. I want to welcome a young man who's sitting in the back. He's a very quiet person, but when he reads his poetry, Ernest Woodley, come on up. Ready, Ernest?
Let's give it a few seconds.
Hello, people.
Hello.
Okay, I'm gonna read a few pieces. This one I wrote a few years ago at a workshop I attended. It's called "Can I Write a Poem in 15 Minutes?" Can I write a poem in 15 minutes? A poem that will make people happy, put a smile on people's faces, have people leap up from their seats in delight, jump up and touch the ceiling, touch the sky and say, yes. I write a poem to encourage, to inspire, to take that next step. Don't know if I can write a poem in 15 minutes, but I'll keep on trying. Another one I wrote about a year ago. This is entitled, "These Are My Words." My words, yes, these are my words. I can manipulate them, say them out loud. Can keep them inside my mouth. I can recite them, I can whisper them. I can write on a piece of paper. I can type in my device. I can rearrange my words, edit them, rewrite. These are my words. I can write them and recite them in a poem. Okay. I'll read one from Langston Hughes, one of my favorites, poets. This one I'm going to read is entitled "Sleep." When the lips and the body are done, she seeks your hand, touches it, and sleep comes. Without wonder and without dreams, when the lips and the body are done. Okay. Read another one from Langston. Read another one. This one's called "Man." I was a boy then. I did not understand. I thought that friendship lay in the grip of hand to hand. I thought that love must be her body close to mine. I thought that drunkenness was real in wine. But I was a boy then. I did not understand the things a young lad soon learns so soon when he is a man. Thank you.
When the match is just a little flame, she gets near the flame and it becomes a fire. Please welcome one of the fieriest poets I have ever met, Rhythm.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we're going to get into it today. They call me Rhythm. I named myself because I needed a muse that's effective. Rhythm stands for reality yearning, to heal your mentality. So a lot of the poetry that I write originally myself, it comes from this little mind. So this one here, I'm just gonna get into it. It's one of the first poems I ever wrote. And I wanted this because I wanted to get the hell out of where I was. This is one of the first ones I wrote that I published. It's called Feet. If my feet could talk, if my feet could speak about the places that I've been and the people that I meet, they'd tell a story so real and unique. It would be a bestseller if my feet could just speak. Fear. You should have no fear of my words. Just because it hits you where it hurts, you still should have no fear of my words, because I am the poet. I'm not structured. I have flaws. But the fear of my words that may come out my mouth may hit you so hard, and your reality can come crashing, 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 because the words that hit you will be real. The words that hit you, you will feel. The words that come out my mouth will be reality. So have no fear, because you feel it. Because you feel it. Sometimes it hurts. Put the negative on a timer. No time to negotiate your life. It's a ticking time bomb. That hidden desire to just let loose, give in, take time, doing what you know you should do. Like take that puff, that sniff, inhale. Yes. So many times you went that way. So many times you sat the next day and said, what the fuck did I do? Death is not for me. It is no time for me to die. I am not time. Although the thought appears, although the thought lingers, although the thought stays there embedded in you. My brothers, my sisters, bitten by that snake, Mr. Feel Good, you know, then get high. It's not time. I wrote this poem, just recently had a birthday. I wrote this poem because I was a foster child. And like most foster children, you want to know where the fuck you came from. Especially when there's abuse involved. And you know, there's no way if my mother, she would not do that to me. But I found out some truths, and this is true, that I could have been flushed away. 268 Liberty Street is where I was born. They call the toilet the porcelain throne, so I am royalty from the start. That's where I was born. In my grandmother's bathroom, I could have been flushed away. But they saved me. They took me and showed me how to clean a whole house by the age of 7. Wash, 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 tease, 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 wondering, wondering, dazed, stained, abused. Don't touch me, please. Don't touch me, please, until I spoke no more. I could have been flushed away. But my words and my mind saved me. Back and forth, state, family, state. My name is female child. My name is female child. Sitting in a room, waiting on strangers. I could have been flushed away. Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die, sometimes I wish I would. I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Saved me. I I could have been flushed away. The angels are in the room. They saved me. The eyes that are looking at me from the other room. The sun shined at night. Stiff as a board I lay, undeveloped. Don't touch me. Please. Run, scream, scream, run, run, scream. Help, confused, scared. Don't touch me. Please. Don't touch me. I could have been flushed away, walking, daydreaming, in and out of consciousness, in and out of existence. I am female, child, standing. I'm ready to fight constantly, but I could have been flushed away. This is called Walking Through. While walking through the storm, praying, calling on God, as one thing after another, situation arise, fall, let me wake up. Mother died walking through the storm. My heart was torn, but I must move on. I won't pay the light bill, but I still must move on. Praying of the tears of my brokenness, walking through the emotional strain of all the hurt and all the pain that gives me a heavy weight on my heart. But I'm walking through with faith. I'm walking through with mercy. I'm walking through with God, grateful that He is walking with me. I too had one I wanted to read by Langston Hughes that I really enjoy a lot. One of the poems that helped me through the reality of life of being a foster child. I really think that the foster system should be revamped. And we should get restitution for all the suffering that they paid someone else to put us through. This poem is called Belief. And it's out of Langston Hughes' time, and it's written by Carlos Andros Gomez. I can't speak Spanish, which I really wish I could because it would come out better, but it's called Belief. Hell is real. Judgment Day is coming. Repent. The placard screams and cartoonish, fire-fronted lettering. He clutches it, rigid and unmoving, as though it is his last surviving friend. Not his best friend, but the only other one to make it this far. Or maybe it is his wife of 23 years. The spark long gone, but the comfort of what is known calming and knots in his chest. And I am curious about where this man goes to rest. He dutiful spouse, the dutiful spouse that he is, continuing mostly out of fear of having to figure out being anyone else. What quiet place cradles him as he closes his eyes to lie down? What summer meal makes his face light up? What song does he belt out twice and doesn't care who hears? I want to hear that song. I want to hear it bloom from his tired mouth. I want to hear his fractured story. What has left him by himself with me and the big-breasted Latina woman? We just caught each other checking out. We made eye contact. I was defensive, wanted at first to scream, I'm not that guy, asshole, and fuck you in your dogma. Then I noticed how softly his eyes were soaking me in, just wanting to feel a momentary brush against his chest. Now, there is still touch. On a rainy Sunday at 9:38 p.m. on this empty C train going local to Brooklyn. None of us are ever as good as we wish we were. I am proof. So is he. We are disappointed in who we have become, but he is not trying to be good right now. He's just tired, looking for anything to help carry him under the East River and up to the fourth floor, walk up and onto a half-deflated mattress. Jesus has been asleep. The doors open and his body twitches to move but cannot. We make eye contact again, and now he wants to tell me something. Maybe hold out his quivering palm and smile. Finally, maybe tell me his entire shaking story, even the boring parts in between. Maybe he'll pull out the faded album of framed pictures in his back pocket. His body is softly singing a chorus of "Save me, brother, save me. Please, oh merciful God." One more. Okay, this poem is called "The Revolution." The reason why I chose this song because it feels like we're in one. The revolution took a turn, and now it's neighbor against neighbor, race against race, racism amongst your own. Black sister, I am. Black sister, I am. But why do you hate me? Black brother, why do you hate your black brothers? The revolution is among us, and it's even in my home. You feed your sister drugs, you feed your brother false hope. The plantation is filled with zombies. The revolution has hit home, involving the new seeds, but we must let them grow. But the revolution is among us. Racism is a big part. Fear is even bigger. Fear, once you reach, nothing can be accomplished. Fear the government. You fear your neighbors. You fear the food that you eat. You fear the doctors, the lawyers, and even your own children. Fear Occupy Wall Street. Fear what is different. Fear our president. So much fear. What you going to do when the revolution starts? Will you lay down? Will you lay down? Or will you get up and fight?
Whoa. Yes. Please welcome for the first time in Stark Reality, KAYSHLA.
You guys can call me Kay. You see how I abbreviated it there by separated it? It's KAYSHLA. KAYSHLA. Rhythm. The only young thing in here, huh? I've been dancing for 3 hours straight. When I get high, I get elevated, more free. My mind opens up, I focus on the dream, I get down to recognizing crucial steps in 2.2. I know what to do next. Next, I write it down. Whether it's a strategy to execute or my next best move, I'm trying to move around the people around me, shuffling. So I keep playing the game so we can move up, not stand still. For the grand design of this life, cause now that's all we got. It's just so ironic how we must go backwards to move forward. I just gave you the whole cake and put it to an abstract, so I hope you listen through, cause my soul flies the new sky, and it's a different type of blue. Take whatever applies as your base kit, cause this truth is a different kind of facelift. It's hard to get up in this wheel of life and not get too comfortable with the trees blowing through your lungs. Overwork over time, chasing the bag instead of working on what makes you numb. Get back to feeling young. I get it, your childhood years shot you down, right? Who's gone? Life banged on you, but you were so young. There was no telling which way the ambulance was coming from. But I gotta keep driving and maneuver my moves right since I'm in this seat. Even though the world displayed hate and shit wasn't sweet. I still love Blue Eyed Billy. We called him the neighborhood bum. I was around a dozen -3, but I seen a human being when he made us laugh out one time. He could be sweet, and I seen a human because of what used to be, while he was asleep across the street on the street with his hairy buns for the public to see. Unfortunately, he was a drunk, and he lived his life in the way most people would shun. Hey, life's a gift, and you have a chance to shine like the sun, because you got the gun. Remember, it was you, and it's all for you to remember. Where you from? Nas knew it, God's son. And to some, it comes down to as if we bleed different with each pump. Like we don't hurt from the same bump. The sage says the muscle mind gets stronger until it recognizes every day is the triumph. To triumph, to be the change you want to see. If you could just take off what was put on you and level up your consciousness like it's something new to try on. But with all the entertainment sold in your ear, it wasn't hard to buy on, whether it was controlled lyrics. Go. But with all the entertainment sold in your ear, it wasn't hard to buy on, whether it was controlled lyrics that made it to your brain to pry on, or whether it was the snake in your circle, by y'all, revenge, by all means. Understand, snakes even slither down in between, but we buy on, cause that's my homegirl and I have a shoulder to cry on. But even if you didn't have a shoulder to cry on, get your fly on, give yourself space. You need the room to fly on and on and on. In disguise of all this chaos is a tune to life's song, and I want you to sing along when I spit this motivational combo for life's forum. I got the working combo, but it's up to you to create the mechanics that fit, adjust it. Is this it? The lane you want to stay in? People hate because they feel the swag, but they not low. I just can't feel for them. I can't think for them. Your perspective is your homeroom, and it controls where you home, dude. That haterish just don't live in my dome room. I might just strike up a combo though and open up a window to your sunroof, creep in, cause it's a little dim through your soul's roof. That's just all roof, no cap. I see right past Lucifer's intention on you. Let me shed some light through you. My limit has no roof, and my intention is for you to see your self-worth. I'm the woman that gives birth, not to any babies, but I'm a birth a lifestyle through my womb. I create life, air, and breath, 20 walking tombs. The walking dead for the ones that believe life is doomed. This door's battle is not skin deep. It is for the key in your head. I understand an example molds in deep to the place right under your cool shoes, grounds for you to stand on, but you need the right one, because without it, it's easy to get knocked out like dudes too. But only a few knew that the real fight begins and ends with you. How you gonna make it out the pool that's meant to drown you? And the more you try not to sink, somebody call me a fucking shrink. I'm sinking in the sand dunes. But before you pick up the phone, all you got to know is that it takes guts to push through, to dive in without fear of deep water. Just trusting that swimming is already a part of you. It's all a contradiction, right? But guess who's the fucking pilot? Take flight, look up and ask how, but you gotta be in tune outside the loop. You want expansion, you want the best version of yourself, but you so bruised, and the people you wanna love keep you so confused. I know what you're looking for. You can keep direction coming in, broadcasted like news. If you believe in that type of thing, the truth is hidden in plain sight, so you make sure you read between the lines of your life and tune into the signs that speak with rhymes. Synchronicity, since following those clues will hit the climb to your blues. Welcome to the other side. Welcome to the other side. Take a ride with me. Here's a beautiful blue sky, massaging your eyes to the rhythm of your beat, to the waves of light interacting within one another, creating the very world that you see. A motion of love moves through your body as you move with the waves under your feet. Look, it's that never-ending, majestical line that pierces your beloved eye, an infinite partnership of the blues, one light and one dark. You see, duality is nature's way, and formalities stick where your consciousness lays. Waves of ice early in my life forced me to see. From the shore, it was safe to look up at the moon's crust, but the world was so full of lust, so how could I trust what I see? But you see, I am a child of God, so robust. So what else could I be? After the world done shook me, rough rock bottom to my knees, dear God, I need a new brain so I could see. All I was missing was the lens to adjust and the courage of a bull to head straight to the fear. Fuck. I'm afraid, but to go on with this I must, and I'm painting the picture clear. The night takes over, but I am the light created by dust. Who planted this seed? I now realize I was just an idea. My life was just a possibility out of all the possibilities, just like me. Take a look in the mirror. That's the hardest thing you'll ever have to do is face your enemy. Different paths create different monsters, but the same monsters may set you free. The perspective of my pain once projected in me, but now that that's all washed away, watch me infect the world with the love that resides in me. Without a visa, it's a permanent residency, but world, what will happen when we disagree? I thought we were on the same boat. I still say we're on the same boat, fighting the same battles in different ways, with different ways, lasting for way more than just days. It seems more difficult to live in the past of dead days, so I rewired my perspective to overcome my subconscious ways. That's how you exit the maze. I witnessed the matrix implementing its ways of rays to darken my shine, but my light, I just can't leave that behind. And this world is just a perfect illusion of mine. What a beauty in disguise. It just seemed once upon a time that the more I screamed for help, the more it went the other way. It reminds me of a certain scene when Andy from Child's Play. Yet the production of this play ends with just another phase because I realize the universe creates my world with no delays, since it simply mirrors back the exact image I displayed. So simple yet complex takes the role. Resistance to circumstance is resistance in the rabbit hole. You already don't know which way to go. You can see straight down the road, but you just don't know the curve life might throw, because which way the wind blows is far from your grip of control. This is more like a Broadway show, but it only lasts for a few, so open up the curtains to your presidential view. After all, you already paid the price. Yeah.
Hello. I love this. I love 353 Studios because I can be as fucking loud as anybody can be as fucking loud as you want. Isn't it great? A place to make noise. Okay. Yes. Because sometimes you gotta be fucking loud. Because you want to be heard. And you can be angry or happy. Don't give a shit. You can be whatever you want to be. So, I live in Queens. There's a lot of women that wear burqas. That piece of shit clothing that you could only see their eyes. They're in jail. They're in a... Anyway, I wrote a poem about that. It pisses me off because they don't have a choice. They get killed. Honor killings, they call them. If you dare to disobey. Next show is August 8th.
Here?
Yeah. Oh yeah. As long as they're open, I'm here. Dark burqa, in the voice of an Iraqi woman. Dark burqa hides my body in black. I am the color of night during moon or sun's light. Dark burqa, I scream when I dream, my lips sealed and tongue silenced by the men who write my life. Dark burqa, I shall rip you, shred you, throw your blackness on their thrones. I shall spit on the faces of those who make me kneel and steal their hearts by loving my might. Dark burqa, I don't wear the shadow of my mother's tears. I don't listen to her cries or sacrifice my breath to pacify the kings who cut my clitoris, soak my labia so I won't feel the thunder of orgasmic storms. Dark burqa, I shall burn the cloth that shields my blood and keeps my skin arid and untouched. Dark burqa, I will dye you red and wear the color of fire. When they come for me, throw stones, cut my bones, I shall tear the dark burqa, spread my legs, command them to their knees. They shall eat between my lips, suck and swallow my juice, the sweet justice of my cum. Dark burqa, I shall be naked, and should they harness my body and keep my hair under veils in this prison of cloth. Oh, dark burqa, he who tries will feel the wrath of my onyx eyes. This is, I'm of the believe that you make your own age. You want to get old, you get fucking old. You want to stop dancing, stop dancing. You want to be young and 65, you know what I mean? Age is in your hands. This poem is called Beat. I wrote it because people start asking you, are you going to retire? When will you retire? What are you going to do? You're going to go to Florida? Don't do it now. Okay. Society sucks because they tell you who to be, what to be, when to be it, and what to, you know what I'm saying? Free is the way to be. Ooh, it rhymes. Free. It's called Beat. It's a beat poem. Beat starts, heart thumps. Beat of time wrinkles your mind. Flesh is not lying. Do not cave to the beat of time. Rock your mind. Body will dance. When will you retire? Retire, retire. Or die in Florida or burn under sun. Rest, rest, rest. Time to age. I rage at time. I control time. I decide time. I do not retire or die in Florida or Arizona. I take water and red rocks, climb higher and higher. Poets do not retire. Fighters and rebels do not retire. We get higher and higher till we bleed reality and suck the blood of the retired. Wake the breathing dead. Blast beat of bullet words. Wake up the retired. Sing out loud. Do not retire. Dance naked. Follow the fire of beats. Beat of tunes. Rock and roll will make you whole. Jump to the beat. Party with life. Rip her clothes off and end his silence. Dance like animals in heat. Fucking like beats. I retire. Normality. Paint red, green, neon, pinks, yellow circles of sun beating black shadows on gray streets. On this city that never sleeps. New York City does not retire. Gets higher and higher, braver when blood strikes. New York City does not retire. Gets hotter in the beat of hot streets. He tells me, move to the country, the trees, hammocks rocking to the breeze. I say no, I stay in city streets, dance to beat of words, bleed New York City into my soul, dancing my rock and roll, angering the retired into life. Grab your cock, wet your cunt, and come, come, come. Orgasm, scream, it's not a dream. Beat of your heart, beat of drums, pulse of city streets. Do not retire, reach higher for the beat, heat, red like blood, your soul not meant to be quiet.
Yes.
Be a riot, be a scream, be the beat of a rock and roll dream, speed jazz beat. Do not retire, don't stop the clock, keep beating, repeating the fire of beats, forever drumming, forever coming, forever breathing, fucking to the beat, do not retire the fire, just burn! 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 Your age is in your own hands.
There you go. I'm 21 forever, just to let y'all know.